Hello, everyone. Raymond Mhor, Kilted Prepper. How's everybody doing this morning? It is Friday morning, and I just want to thank everybody for taking the time to stop and watch and join me in this live. Uh, want to really thank all my subscribers for really supporting this channel and returning and watching my. And if you're new, do me a favor and like, subscribe, and share. And if you see that little bell, click on that little bell or ring that little bell so that you'll get notified when I post new videos and new lives and everything. So again, welcome so much. I wanted to come in here today because it's interesting. These last couple days, I have been noticing just a lot of people freaking out in Facebook groups. And for those of you know, I kind of live on Facebook, and I'm in probably about 50 different homesteading, gardening, and prepper groups. And one of the things that I'm noticing is just people freaking out. And what I want to do is kind of give you guys some encouragement and, basically stop, breathe, and stay on target. And I don't know if you remember, and I'm showing my age here. Remember when the first Star Wars video came out, and they're going in, diving into this, to destroy the Death Star and everything like that. And there's one guy saying, "Stay on target, stay on target." That's what we need to do because, we are just being bombarded recently with all kinds of crazy, weird news. And, excuse me, morning, must have my coffee. But we are just being bombarded with all kinds of stuff, and it's so easy to be distracted. And I mean, just think about it here. We have the war going on in Europe. We have, I mean, nuclear escalation. I don't know if you saw Putin, his stepping out of the SALT treaties and or the nuclear treaties, and so we're not playing anymore with these. So again, the train derailments. We're seeing uranium factories being, caught on fire. We're seeing our waterways and our croplands being, polluted and everything. We have balloons and UFOs flying over. And I mean, there's just so much distracting us and causing fear. And there's, it's so much vying for our attention that what's happening, and again, I'm seeing this in these Facebook groups. People are almost getting deer in the headlight syndrome. And you know I've been seeing, some folks being like, why should I even prep anymore? This is just futile. Why should I do it? We're all gonna die and sky is falling, and chicken little syndrome. But what I want to do is just really give you just in some encouragement. One of my favorite quotes is from a book called Dune, and in it, it talks. He says, "Fear is the mind killer. I must not fear. Fear is the little death that brings total obliteration. I will face my fear. I will prevent it to pass over me and through me." And I love this quote because I keep reminding myself, fear is the mind killer. And because when you do fear, when you start panicking, you start freezing up and you don't know what to do. And what that happens is then your instincts start to take over, and you have that fight, flight, or fear situation going on. And what people need to do is stay focused and stay on track. A lot of people ask why I do what I do, and I'm going to get a little Christian on you here, is I have my motivation verse is 1 Peter 3:15. It says, "Always be ready to share the hope that's within you in meekness and fear." And again, that's Ray paraphrased. But I always say always means always. Always means in good times, always means in bad times. And it is our goal to share the hope, because there's going to be so many people. I mean, I see it already. So many people out there are just having no hope. No, there's hopelessness. Why should I do this? Why should I, I'm just going to go, just roll over, eat worms. And that's not the fighting spirit. is we need to be able to offer hope, offer help, and by being prepared, being a good homesteader and everything, we're then in the position to help our fellow man and so forth. And so, another verse that really drives me is, and I call this my life verse, and it's Proverbs 3, 5, and 6. Trust the Lord with all your heart, lean not on your own understanding, and all your ways acknowledge him, and he will direct your path. And, again, this keeps me centered and it really helps me to push forward because I do all that I can do. And then you get to a certain point where it's like, okay, I've done pretty much everything I can do. That's when you kind of give God the steering wheel and say, okay, God, the rest is up to you. I've done all I can. So that's my life verse. And it's these two things that really help me and drive me to be a better prepper, to be a better homesteader, and to be able to help folks out there. And that is my goal. That's why I'm doing this channel. That's why I got my website and all my articles and my YouTube videos and everything like that, is to help educate other people. I would rather have more allies than enemies. And so I want to see more people coming into the prepper community, homesteading community, learning to be more help others. So my goal is to give real solutions for folks. And I've been prepping now for gosh, almost all my life. And my big wake up call was the Loma Prieta earthquake that took place back in 1989, I believe, in the San Francisco Bay Area. And I was a FEMA inspector at that time, checking out all these homes and destruction and meeting people and everything, and just seeing how many people who were not prepared. And here in the San Francisco area, that's earthquake country. And I mean, I grew up having our earthquake bucket, and we had our little supplies and all these. Each one of our family members had an earthquake bucket, and so anytime anything happened, we grab our earthquake bucket and go out. And that's just some of the things you're raised with if you lived in, or if you lived in the San Francisco Bay Area at that time. They really pushed earthquake preparedness, and so I was rather surprised in doing a lot of these FEMA inspections and everything, how many people were not prepared. And it's like, folks, listen, it's coming, so why don't you prepare? Same thing with when I lived in the Houston area. Folks, hurricanes are coming, so why don't you prepare? But it's amazing to me how many people don't do that. And so, I've have a lot of experience, and my goal is to really share my experience, share my realistic, prepping ideas and everything, so that you can basically learn from my mistakes, and then from those, be able to make better choices, do better things. I mean, I kind of trust what I'm saying and everything. And here's a great example. I remember one of the when I was doing some dehydrating and everything. My mom always had a dehydrator. I mean, she must have one of the first dehydrators that was out there in the 70s. And so I remember doing all this and everything. And so when I first started really getting hardcore into dehydrating, I went out and got these round Ronco stackable trays. You can't control the temperature. You can't, doesn't have a fan or anything like that. And I remember just burning through these things. I was dehydrating like crazy. I mean, you can buy these now and they're great for getting started. But I really encourage folks to, like, listen, bite the bullet, forget the Ron more. I would have been able to, I would have been able to get an Excalibur and do it right. And I guess that's what I'm saying is by learning by my mistakes, you're going to be able to do things right the first time. You're not going to be wasting a lot of time. You're not going to be wasting a lot of money and so forth. So I've learned from my mistakes. And again, my goal is to help people, get into the preparedness arenas, homesteading community with realistic prepping ideas. That's why my motto, real prepping for real people, because a lot of these movies and John Wayne things and Mad Max stuff and everything, that's all Hollywood. So many people now believe in the Hollywood ideas that they're just not realistic. And so, to the new folks or coming into it or so forth, my website is free. and go there, read my articles and everything. And so if you're new or if you're on a budget and everything, I've really put together a pretty long but good article. And the article is titled Food Prices Will Escalate Drastically. Prepare now. And what I'm doing is I'm giving a budget preparedness list for beginners. And there's a lot of things in that list that I give you, as well as a lot of secondary items and everything. But primarily, I'm focusing on food. Now, another thing that I have on my website is it's that time of year again. Start planning your spring garden. Again, my focus is strongly on food because food is an end all. And if you don't have good food, you don't have good diets, you don't have good things going on, then you are really going to be behind the eight ball. And so get food now. And in both these articles, what I'll do is I'll put links down in the description below so that you have them. And I'll also pin it to the top so that you have quick access to these articles as well. But I strongly believe food will not disappear. Yeah, we're going to see a lot of empty shelves here and everything, but food will not disappear. What I do believe is that the food will be so expensive they will literally be priced out of the grocery store. I mean, we are seeing that already. I mean, it's a sad sight to see when you see an elderly senior, humming and hawing, what can they afford and everything. And or other people, they're just looking and just buying either junk or crackers and peanut butter. And I mean, they are starting to become priced out of the grocery store. And this is the realistic thing. And so food will always be there. But people are going to get to a point where food will not be affordable anymore. And this is why I say start prepping now. Start growing a garden now because food is going to get outrageously expensive this year. And I know that we've got fertilizer problems, that we've got seed problems, we have fuel problems, and when all these issues come together, the rancher and the farmer is being hit super super hard. Because of that, they are not going to be producing as much. And so if they don't produce as much, then food is going to be coming up short. And then also, I don't know if you've been paying attention to last year. Last year's food production was pretty low. We are coming up on March, and our grain reserves, be it corn, wheat, rice, soybeans, and there was one more that I saw. But usually we have what's called carryover. And that carryover will usually take us to about June or July. Well, this year's carryover, again, our crops and everything were so bad last year that this year's carryover is basically ending in March. And so what are we going to do between March to about June, July, when a lot of the crops start coming in and start being able to be harvested and so forth and so on? That carryover is not going to be there. So food prices are going to start to be outrageously high. And so, again, ranchers and farmers are not going to be able to produce as much. Our carryover is not there. And so I totally believe food prices are going to go through the roof. And so, again, this is not going to disappear. Many people will be, basically priced out of the market. And so by having food on hand, what you're going to do is be able to stay ahead of the curve, stay ahead of the sheeple masses and the chaos, and be able to make better decisions and better, ideas and see things that are happening out on the horizon. A great example of this is remember when toilet paper was in great shortage? Everybody was freaking out about toilet paper, and you saw videos of people fighting over things of toilet paper and people selling toilet paper out of the back of their trunks and everything like that. That is a prime example of the masses in chaos or the sheeple acting in chaos. And I don't know about you, but we didn't have a problem with that because we have a lot of toilet paper on hand. We've been preppers, we've been homesteaders, and so we have a lot of things on hand. So what you're able to do is coast through that storm, and because you're able to stay ahead of that wave, you're able to then, see out on the horizon, quote unquote, of what other things might be coming down the pipe. And then you're able to act and everything way ahead of the sheeple, way ahead of the curve, and then make better decisions for you and your family. And so the goal is just by being prepared means you're able to stay ahead of the curve. food and being prepared is great insurance. And I mean, everybody has medical insurance, home insurance, car insurance, all these others. Why not have food and preparedness insurance? Preparedness is not fear. Preparedness gives you a peace of mind. And so this is why I am basically a prepper, is because I don't fear. When things come down the pipe and everything, it's, hey, we're ready for this. Now, I do look at every situation. For example, the derailment in Ohio. I learned from that and I applied what I saw there to maybe a nuclear situation. And it was able to give me ideas that, like, wow, I need to fill some of my holes here in my nuke preps because I noticed that there were certain things missing. And so it gave me a learning experience. And so by having ahead of the curve and being prepared, you're able to make better decisions. But on top of that, also able to learn from these situations, adapt, and overcome. So again, fear is the mind killer, and that's one of the things that we want to make sure that we prevent, is that we are not acting out of fear, we're not acting out of panic, and we are able to make clear, concise decisions for ourselves and for our families. Um, let's see what else here am I wanting. I got some little notes here, but just stay focused and stop listening to the noise. Again, we as preppers, we just love the news and we love going down rabbit holes and we love, seeing all this stuff. And I mean, I don't know about you, but I'm a news junkie, and I'm assuming you're a news junkie as well. And so it's we kind of thrive on those things and everything. But there gets to a point where some of these things really start affecting you, start not thinking clearly, start acting out of fear and everything. And that's why I want to say is just stop, breathe, and don't allow fear and panic to overcome you. Fear is the mind killer. It stops you. And so I hope that this really has helped here. I wanted to come in here this morning. I got some comments here, no fear, keep living, keep prepping, and be kind. Totally agree, Mercedes. And then Valerie R says, great advice. Thank you, Valerie. But thank you for all you guys who are new to my channel and things. Please like, subscribe, and share. Ring that little bell so you'll be notified when I put up new videos and everything. And then if you have any questions or anything like that that you would like for me to cover, again, put them in the comments or go to my website and contact me. My email is ray@raymondmhor.com, ray@raymondmhor.com. And my last name is spelled Mhor. And my website is thekiltedprepper.com, the Kilted Prepper, or raymondmhor.com. So you can use both of those DNSs to get to my website, read my articles, which again I will pin down in the bottom and let you know there. Hey Violet, nice to see you. Thanks for the encouragement. Yep, that's what I'm all about. So that's everything. I just wanted to come in here this Friday morning and give you some encouragement. Also, tomorrow, Saturday night, I do YouTube live streams at 6 p.m. Eastern. And so we spend about an hour. This gives me a chance to help answer your questions, or you guys pose questions, or gives us a chance to talk and everything. But usually I have some theme or topic or something to talk about. And we just all chat and have fun and things. So if you're new or returning, remember tomorrow night, Saturday, Eastern Standard Time, 6 p.m., same bat time, same bat channel. I'm doing a live stream. And so come on by, hang out with me for an hour. I'm having my coffee right now, but I don't know what I'll be having tomorrow. But, come on by. And so, but that's everything. I just thank you again so much for taking the time this morning and tuning in. So I'm Raymond Mhor, Kilted Prepper. We'll see you. Goodbye. God bless. And kilt on.